If you want to play games like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, want to play Tears of the Kingdom but can't for some reason, or you finished Tears of the Kingdom and have a Zelda itch to scratch, then you should play these games. Ahoy folks, Craig signing in for Pure Xbox, and yes, I just said Xbox. That's right, these games can be found on Xbox through the store, Game Pass, or PC Game Pass. Right then, let's go and fill that Triforce void of yours. Probably one of two games that instantly come to mind when I think Zelda is Tunic. Replacing everyone's favorite Hylian swordsman for the foxy bingo mascot, the Legend of Zelda DNA can be found all over this one. There are chests to discover, items to dig up, and you can upgrade things like your health or stamina. The top-down nature is reminiscent of older Zelda titles or even the newer Link's Awakening. Where Zelda games might handhold the player, Tunic instead turns the how to play the game into a puzzle itself by hiding scraps of its in-game manual across the landscape. Whether you're taking your first step or falling into the vast open world of the past two Zelda titles, the grandeur of Hyrule is a sight to behold. The feeling of, if I can see it, I can get there, can also be felt in the PC Game Pass edition, Death Stranding. Oftentimes, when traversing Hyrule's many landscapes, we can feel small, isolated, and alone. The same feeling can be found in Hideo Kojima's post-apocalyptic title. Sam's mission may not revolve around beating the bad guy at the heart of the story, but where these two franchises meet is how they traverse their retrospective open worlds. Similar to Tunic, Death's Door feels like an early Zelda game, all thanks to its isometric camera. This time, our hack-and-slash protagonist takes shape as a crow, whose sole purpose is to reap said souls from the dead. But doing that isn't always an easy feat. Death's Door has its players collecting upgrades, equipping new gadgets, completing puzzles, and beating dungeons. Essentially the Zelda gameplay loop. There's literally even a dungeon dedicated to smashing pots. I 100% Death's Door earlier this year, and I'll vouch for it being one of the best Zelda clones out there. Hidetaka Miyazaki, the director of Elden Ring, once said his action role-playing game of the year was influenced by many open-world games, one of which being Breath of the Wild. You get a sense of those inspirations in Elden Ring's post-apocalyptic biomes, colossally sized foes, and traversal features like horseback riding and updraft. Whilst the dark fantasy tone of Elden Ring is a lot less hopeful than Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and its combat leans more towards Zelda's Master Mode, and then some, the freedom to approach combat situations, delve into dungeons, and explore the vast open world just screams Zelda vibes to me. Whilst Tunic was the first game to come to mind, Ubisoft's Immortals Phoenix Rising was probably the most predictable choice, as it's well known for its Breath of the Wild inspirations. Rooted in Greek mythology, its gorgeously crafted world is filled with secrets to uncover and puzzles to solve. Link's constant need for distractions from his main quest can be found in Immortals Phoenix Rising 2. You can't go more than a few yards before something new pops up, whether it's an unlockable item, upgrade, or just a beautiful vista. Probably the most obscure choice for this list, but you'll soon see why. Trailmakers has a lot in common with Tears of the Kingdom, especially when building bizarre inventions comes into conversation. Link's Ultra Hand ability awards players with uncensored potential to combine, craft, and create vehicles, structures, and the like. Similarly, Trailmakers offers an open-world adventure with vehicle building at its core. Limited only by your own creativity, you can enjoy thoughtful challenges that inspire your next mobile creation. Trailmakers was also inspired by this next game. Despite Link's Ultra Hand capabilities, building unique inventions to traverse an open world wasn't an original idea, and Sea of Thieves developer Rare may have just hinted to it in a recent tweet. Fan favorite? Don't question it. Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is available to enjoy whenever you please via Rare Replay on Xbox Game Pass and backward compatibility. Despite Nuts and Bolts' tepid release back in 2008, the gameplay loop to dream up a selection of bespoke land, air, and sea vehicles in order to complete challenges was adorned by the masses who actually played it. Link may not audibly talk throughout Tears of the Kingdom, instead offering hand gestures for NPCs to respond to. Although clearly demonstrating this Hylian has a voice, you can however hear his many yells, moans, and groans in combat scenarios. Keeping things quiet and somber by ditching combat altogether is Sable, a relaxing journey with a distinct artistic direction. The open world of Sable is packed full of story, exploration, and puzzles. Manage a stamina gauge in a similar way to Tears of the Kingdom as you climb, glide, and soar through a non-combat adventure heavily inspired by Breath of the Wild. Borrowing many influences from Zelda is Recore. Whilst many people dismissed this charming Xbox exclusive when it launched, we think it's genuinely a hidden gem tucked away on Xbox Game Pass. The sandy space Hyrule of Recore is an open world littered in platforming challenges for you, your gadgets, and your 3 upgradable robot companions to get stuck into. One of Zelda's biggest gameplay loops is the hidden in plain sight challenges. Only through progression of the game's story and by unlocking new abilities will you be able to traverse Recore's sci-fi world. On the surface level, you may think Crosscode's 16-bit visual aesthetic is the only similarity to the Zelda franchise with games like A Link to the Past, but the more time you spend with this sci-fi futuristic world of Crosscode, the more you see its Triforce inspirations. It's a meta story of being trapped in Crossworlds, a Zelda-like VR MMORPG that sticks our protagonist with amnesia. It's only through progressing the game does she recapture her memories. Now, does that sound familiar? Like, say, our Linky boy waking up from a 100-year nap with zero idea of how he got there? Yeah. Well, the retro-style combat might feel a tad more bullet hell than Zelda at times, but it's addictive and it's good fun. However, it's in the game's dungeons, puzzles, and unlockable abilities that truly drive its unique Zelda-like experience home. So hopefully one or more of these games can scratch that Zelda itch that you have. So be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Xbox related content. Or head on over to purexbox.com for all of the latest Xbox news, reviews, and previews. As for now, I've been Craig. Cheerio!